So your south journey, to me, is the first, I relate it to like the first level of consciousness, and the victim archetype. And there are almost two experiences of the victim archetype. One experience, because we're also in this relative reality, so we work with the 4 consciousness directions, and then also relativity, mother, father, light, dark, and to me in the thought space it is fear and love. Love being the only thing that really does exist as an energy, but for us to know ourselves as love, we need the opposite of that, which is fear. So the thought space becomes very simple because all you have is fear and love. It's not very difficult, really easy. So your 2 experiences of each consciousness are, because we're working with the victim consciousness, in the first direction, one experience of the victim is it's trapped in fear and closed and afraid and tight and dense and heavy. And the other experience of the victim is that it's open and it is the questioner. It goes from victim and fixed to questioning and open and I wasn't quite sure about that. How about this? And that is the difference between the thought being in fear and the thought being in love. So this is all about your exploration, and usually it's with the past, your victim archetype and your past experiences, because our human monkey brain likes to project our present moment reality quite often from past experiences. Oh, when this happened to me before, I'm expecting da 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 da, and we're sort of living in a place of sort of little projections based on our past experiences, unless we remember to be very present and go, hold on a moment, am I just recreating the past, or can I be really present to this? So that's really funny. I was going to say I've lost where I am, but I was just talking about presence, so it's very much dropped me into bing. Nice. Yeah, monkey brain living on loops of the past. So what this consciousness direction will be is acknowledging what your past is, all of your stories. So what are the stories that I have lived? What are the stories that still loop in my brain based on what's happened in my past? And it is about seeing which of your stories are stuck in a fear-based consciousness paradigm. And the whole illumination process is moving. Can we move any thoughts based in fear into the love stream and just find balance with this questioner over here, so that you can hold space for both, and then also anchor them in, so that your thoughts trapped in fear are not cycling and recreating that version of reality that you're scared of recreating, but then it comes back because it's still trapped in fear, if that makes sense. So the perpetual victim cycle of why me and why the pain and la 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 la. We all acknowledge those stories and then anchor them in love, so that you're very much aware of them, and then these stories become your biggest gift, and you can use them, and you can help to alchemize others through the process. So it's mainly the past, and the animal archetype really is it's almost like I find the animals of each direction depicts the consciousness. So if you think about a snake, that it is quite calm, and she's quite, for me, feminine, on like the body of the earth, and snakes eat their prey whole, and then once it's in the body, it will be digested. So it's very much kind of about eating those big chunks of the past and then digesting them. So this direction will be about exploring what are your beliefs, what are your stories, what are your beliefs, and can you digest those beliefs and sit with them and take time and be like, okay, become the questioner of those beliefs. Is this belief really serving me, or am I stuck, trapped, bound by this belief that my ego monkey brain is going, see, this is correct, see, this belief is correct, see, this belief is correct, because it's trapped in fear. The ego will just, to protect itself, keep getting evidence from your life to prove why it's right, and therefore you have the cycle trapped in fear. So questioning those beliefs, and not like eradicating anything that you know to be real, or trashing all the beliefs or anything quite extreme. You can do it really carefully, because it can be quite challenging to question one's belief. They're what sort of anchor us into reality, keep us grounded. But to just stay curious and keep asking in your present moment, are my beliefs flexible? Because your belief of who you are will change present moment reality. And all there is presence. So you might have a different belief tomorrow or next week. And for me, this consciousness energy is about staying curious to your beliefs. So nothing is fixed and closed or trapped in fear. That you can notice that, but also, how do I believe right? What do I believe right now? What's true in this moment? And stay curious and open to that, because it might be different tomorrow. It might change back. You might say, actually, it was serving me to believe this. That's fine. And really, it's like exploring this section of your consciousness, exploring yourself. What beliefs are anchored in your body, what is trapped in fear, and what is not. So it's a real self-exploration journey. Through your stories, through your beliefs. Are they serving you? Are they not? And how enrolled are you in your stories? Because the minute you meet up with something, meet up with the belief that is impossible to see any other way, almost like that's a little bit of a red flag. You just want to be able to kind of nicely question and be like, yeah, this really is serving me. I love how I feel when I believe that. I feel open, I feel good. Nice. And I suppose the victim consciousness that is trapped in fear is the experience of people believing life happens to me. This first stage of consciousness, that there's a past, and wherever you are, and the belief in the consciousness that I'm not in control. Life has happened to me. This illness happened to me. My boss fired me. That happened to me. This horrible thing has happened to me, and I am a victim of my circumstances and of my life. Yes, which is the experience trapped in fear. And it's like, yes, that's one way to look at it, but also the other side of that coin is all of that has happened for you to learn from, to also balance yourself in love, because the purpose is to know yourself as more love. Therefore, the only way to do that is to experience the opposite. So instead of it happening to you, all of that has happened for you to give you a full human experience. So it is, kind of reshaping this any kind of trapped or bound thoughts that you can energetically expand into safety and therefore more love. As soon as the vessel, this 3-part being, is trapped in fear, our defense mechanisms come up, the heart closes, and we go into a big protection mode of, just keep me safe and closed. And which is fine. It is just tracking that. And as long as you're conscious of it and you can notice it, and you notice where you close, you notice where you've gone into fear, you can sort of balance yourself in love. And therefore, then there is no tension, there's no tightness, everything is accepted and open, and you can dance with yourself through this corner of consciousness, if that makes sense. Almost like the serpent would digest, like a slow kind of digesting of things. Some things might be concepts, and then it digests a little bit deeper, and then you go, okay, that I really got that this time. Or you have a slightly different experience of the same thing, and it drops deeper into the understanding. It's like this consciousness will digest slowly, and then each time you come back round to Serpent, there'll be more digesting and a depth of love that is exquisite. Very, very powerful direction. And I feel it's the starting point for humanity collectively. There's a lot of people collectively that would be more in their fear, trapped in their fear, rather than being able to balance in love. And it is doing the past first, because Sasha Mama will clean up the past. Then the West is usually, because it's then fear-based, you are trapped in fear in your victim as well, but this is past. So it's like the South will do the past, and then the West more does the future projections, the future fears, and you pinging yourself forward into, what am I afraid of? XYZ happening. If I do this, then that will happen. Da, 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 da. So we're doing past fears first, and then future fears afterwards, if that makes sense. Victim consciousness first. Then you'll alchemize all fears, and then you're done on both things, able to be very present and ping into the north. Any questions? That all made really lovely, perfect sense. Yeah? Nice. So, whether any of you notice, like, loads of stuff's been coming up from the past, or certain people from the past text you out of nowhere. You get messages from people from the past. That's usually Serpent going, let's just clean this up. Da, 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 da. Yeah. So she'll be working with this part of your consciousness. It's also about physical healing in the South. Because of this shedding of the skin, serpents shed. They kind of eat out of their skin, and they slide out and leave this old skin behind. So it will be cycles of just shedding and leaving the old suit in the past, which is really beautiful. So kind of dropping all of the heaviness that doesn't serve, and seeing, feeling into a new way. So that's also physical shedding. Anything that's trapped in your body, we will somatically release, shed, and as well understanding the duality of emotions. Because your thoughts based in the past, you can have fear, love, paradigm, and the same thing with trapped emotions. There can be emotions trapped in fear, but we want to find the emotional stream that's also in love. And we'll go through the 5 core emotions, because again, it's simpler than it sounds, because you've got relative reality, fear, love. These are the top 5 core emotions, and then there's only 3 others. So when you're working with other people, it's not like, I'm not going to know what they're going through. It will be one of the 5 core emotions, and then anything else that spins off of that. So you can not get too overwhelmed. We simplify it down to it's either this or this. Nice. Fab. So what we'll do now, I think, is get out your 3 kuyas, sacred carriers, and we will activate those with your stories.